Hey everybody, I'm Tim and welcome to Cigars Daily Live, coming to you from sunny Phoenix, Arizona to kick off for the second time the first worst episode we've ever done. I'm committed to providing for all of you tonight the biggest, most colossal fail ever. I'm going to present it to you, put it out in front of you, give you guys a look inside my world of failure. And if I have to fail 30 times to do it, I will succeed at this failure. I promise you. I've been doing this for a decade in the cigar industry, and the fact that I'm still like doing it, it should be a monument to the fact that basically anybody can do this. My name is Tim. I'm the host of this show, and all of you watching at home, you are the co-host. Your comments and questions will drive this episode, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or the community on Cigars Daily Plus or on Rumble. I saw that. Facebook. I think we went live too fast for Facebook. I'm just going to remove Facebook. Okay. Goodbye, Facebook. We're going to not miss you. Okay. So I'm kicking this show off. Drop your cigar comments and questions down below as I do. We're going to take your comments throughout the episode. If you're on YouTube, you'll get the main portion of this show, which is going to be about the next hour of it. After that, the last half hour only happens in the after party, the part of this show that we do on the community on Cigars Daily Plus and on Rumble. And so I encourage you guys to follow the episode as we continue it there. It allows us to do everything that we love and kind of know how to do, but do it all without the prying eye of big tech. And so, of course, this amazing show, the parts of it that do work, they only work because of the people in this room around me. First of all, tonight, we are joined by a very, very special Cigars Daily Live studio audience. Woo! We're very great. It's really not that big of a room. So when you shout like that, it is quite loud. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It was shockingly loud. Hey, and if that was happening when the mics were echoing, like people's dogs would be howling at the windows right now. It would be a problem.
The hearing aids that are Bluetooth right now.
Oh God, just take it out. People pulling them out, throwing them on the ground. They're getting stuck in the ear hair. Okay. Also, to help me run this thing into the ground, sitting behind the camera is Billy, the cog of the wall.
I'm just not feeling my.
No, he's not feeling it.
No.
Okay, that's
Sorry.
okay. That's sometimes I feel that way too when I start the show, but then I have to.
But all you do is this. If that's all I had to do,
you guys
I would do the
you guys
same
don't
thing.
see this, but when the countdown's happening, when you're all watching and the countdown's going, I'm like by the camera, I'm like ready to go. And now, like the studio audience does it. Everybody in the studio does this before the show starts. And I kind of have have a bad attitude about it, I guess. So I'm like this now before the show starts. I'm not going to do it for you.
You're shy.
I'm not your dancing monkey. And then the show starts and I'm like, hey, everybody, it's me. Sitting next to Billy, of course, behind the camera is El Rey del Terrio.
Hi there, everybody.
Who's
How's
got
it going?
no small reason to celebrate tonight. Terrence, how are you feeling?
I'm doing. Almost did the voice. I'm doing great. I almost broke the voice out. I have to wait a little bit later to use that.
Wait for that. You wait for that for a little bit. Okay.
I'll edge it a little bit. I'll hold off a little bit.
Please don't edge anything on the show. For the love of God, we're trying not to get canceled just once. Just once for a very long period of time.
People.
Just one time we don't want to get canceled. And of course, sitting third chair tonight is the Hamburglar.
Hello.
Hamburglar. His camera probably needs to be focused.
It is what it is. We're good.
Okay, I want to jump into your cigar comments and questions. Drop them down below. Right now, everyone is saying hello to my beautiful, lovely wife, Allison. The Wrench is joining us tonight. She says, good evening, CD family, and we're absolutely happy to have her here. And I will mind my P's and Q's for as long as I never do that when she's here. I'm just kidding. All right, I legitimately really screwed up that big time. Bad. And that was my throat goat impression, by the way, Terrence.
You're impersonating yourself? Okay.
I normally when I start a show like this, I kind of know how I'm going to frame a thing when I tell you guys about it. With this thing, I don't really. And so we're going to do a couple of things first. I really want to get to your comments and questions. So drop them down below. Even just let us know what's going on with your collection at home, humidor questions, whatever you've got, drop them for us. And upcoming, I'll tell you a couple of things to know about. Number one, you've heard me talk about this if you've been watching the show, but we are celebrating our trip to the country of Cigartopia. Coming up November 22nd, it's the opportunity to enjoy a playground of pure palate-pleasing pleasure. I remembered at that time, even without the graphic, by the way. Big pat on the back. We're going to be joined at this event in person by Justin Andrews from Forged Cigars, by Steve Saka. I just thought of something really funny I have to tell you about. Steve Saka from Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust will be in the house physically at Cigartopia, and Terrence Riley from Aganorsa Leaf. Of course, the visit to the country of Cigartopia happens at the Cigars Daily HQ. It's a day of family and fun and amazing time together, just like we had last time. People from 22 different states visited Cigartopia the last time. As well as Lithuania, which is it's really awkward that I chose Lithuania as the shape of, not really the shape. I mean, it doesn't look anything like it. Never mind. Let's move on. I want to take some comments from people. Billy, get them going. Texas is in my blood. Says, what happened to the CAO V25? What gives? What's going on with that? So CAO has a line of cigars called the CAO Flathead. This is, without a doubt, not only the most successful, most popular line of cigars for CAO, but CAO's parent company, General Cigar, it is easily one of the most successful projects that they've done. They've got others that are more successful, but the CAO Flathead line is like cream of the crop for them. 96 rated cigar with the CAO Flathead 6x60.
Mm-hmm.
And a number of years ago, they took to doing these limited edition releases called the V19 and the V22. But the other thing about it is they certainly haven't done this every year. Like there wasn't a CAO Flathead V24. There was a 23 before that and a 22. I don't think there was a 21 or a 20. There was like 19.
I believe it's 19, 21, 22 or something like that.
I think it was 19, 22, and 23 because I remember the 23 was a hot ticket item.
Oh, yeah, with the nice chevron on the box. Yeah.
Chevron with Tickron. Yeah. And, and yeah, canceled, shot down out of the sky. No, I haven't heard anything that they're planning that. And just so you know, General Cigar releases like 45 new cigars every year. So if they were doing that, I'm sure that I would have heard about it at this point. But people are talking about Flathead in the comments. Billy, what do the fine people say? This one's from Wigwag Workshop. Says, the Flathead is the first cigar to knock me out. For sure. Like we're talking about this Flathead project. This is a broadleaf cigar and it is a big box press broadleaf cigar. They make some smaller vitolas, but it is a knock you on your butt experience. I'm curious, around the studio from the audience here, is there a cigar? What was the first cigar you remember that really like took the wind out of you, sucked the wind out of your sails, caused you to say, oh, wow, I've got a flat head right now, or I'm going to throw up.
It in flat.
Or even better yet, you did throw up.
I got
It's been a
Off a
while.
balcony, maybe? I don't know.
That was my first cigar. No, that
first cigar.
That's my first cigar. And hey, I'm still here.
That was like what, a San Cristobal, right?
Yeah, something like. No, it was Gloria Cubana.
Ah, there we go.
The last one that really like set me back was the Murcielago. That hit me pretty hard. It's been a while though.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay. Murcielago is powerful, Terrence.
Alrighty. So it doesn't have a name. I went into a brick and mortar. This is goodness, like 7 or 8 years ago. And I walk in, the guy, I've only talked to him once or twice, and he remembers my name, and he was like, hey, you got to try this. And it was a bundle cigar, said Dominican on it. And I was like, yeah, sure. No band. Great number of value mills. Like, I'll definitely grab one. I smoked that thing, and in the first third, I'm like, oh, this thing's strong. The second half, I'm like, looking at the ash, I'm like, what did they put in this? There's no way I should feel like this. By the time I'm in the final third, because I'm cheap and I want to get everything I can, even though I didn't have to do that. I'm sitting there sweating, room spinning. I'm ready to cry. I'm like, what do they put in this thing? Why is it so strong? Who did this? Like, had to take a nap, eat dinner, and then I felt like I just finished smoking Melanio Maduro.
Yep.
And then I go back there, and the guy goes, "Hey, Terrence, what do you think about that? It was a nice little double Maduro from the Dominican." And I was like, "Oh yeah, it wasn't for me." But meanwhile, I was like, "You drugged me." I was sick. I was so mad. But I was like, "Oh, no, it wasn't for me." And to try to be aloof about it, So it doesn't have a name. I don't remember.
It might not have a band, but it was called Rohypnol. I mean, that was the name of the cigar, I'm sure. All right. Amber, have you had a knock your face off power, like make you sick cigar yet?
I've definitely had a few cigars in a row, a few dark Maduros in a row, and gotten that. So it's hard to pinpoint which cigar. I think when I smoked the Pledge Toro, it was early on, and now I'm like, okay, that's not that strong. But that one in the Judge, I remember kind of thinking like, oh boy, yeah, okay, I'm feeling the nicotine a little bit. So, but when I go back to those, it's different because I'm in a much more spot in my cigar smoking life now. So
there we go.
Kind of not.
You're slowly developing your palate.
Yes.
As we would say.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. I saw a few people post theirs up on the screen. A few people were talking about Foundation's Tabernacle as like a knock your face off, overpowering. What were you saying?
The
Billy?
Goliath that got brought up a bunch.
The Goliath. It's a powerful cigar. Dude, DB says New World Cameroon. Sorry, bro.
Maybe he just had it on an empty stomach.
Maybe he did.
I've definitely done that.
Allison Swanson says, I think I'm just a bigger bad A, than all of you.
She said she's never gotten sick from a cigar.
That's true.
Okay.
No?
That's
cool
true.
story, bro.
She also dropped another comment here. She said, I remember liking the Flathead. And I just want to acknowledge that there's about 40 jokes I'm passing by.
Because we are on the live,
Because
not the
we're on
after
YouTube,
party.
and because I value my marriage.
Oh.
Pretty sure my daughters can see this. So let's just move right on down the road. I remember you liking that too. Sorry, here we go. Next comment. Everybody's just like, oh, we didn't laugh at that.
We need like music, like whole
We're gonna
music.
relish in that silence, Tim.
Wise Galoot says, how would you describe Camacho's new limited edition? I'd never smoked it. That was like it was here and then gone. Did anyone here have the Camacho 2025 LE?
I did.
Terrence, you did. Good. All right. What did you
He hid the throat goat from me. He put it out of my reach.
I
I
know.
can't even grab it anymore.
It was in the way of my board. I have to use
No.
this. I have to use this.
I'm going to start using the other one we have. Oh, that's right there.
I see you trying to sneak over here. I see you trying to sneak. It is tactical warfare here tonight. Goodness
I was
gracious.
trying to sneak over to steal that goat statue from Terrence.
It would suck
right.
if this thing
Camacho
broke.
2025.
Oh, yes. It is a very rich, bold, powerful cigar. Primary notes, not going to get too deep into it, but it's going to be chocolatey. And I got a whole lot of nutty and grassy notes out of it. So it was a nice like balance of like stuff you would get from the lighter spectrum and from the darker spectrum. So I really enjoyed it. Only had about 2 or 3, but I enjoyed it while we still had it.
Beautiful. All right. Nerd from Corey B. Listen, we still have a lot to cover. I need to unveil what is my horrific disaster. And so I feel like it's probably about time to get to that. I want one more comment, and then I'm gonna tell you guys about what I did. That was the biggest fail. Was this the biggest fail of my career? We're gonna go ahead and go over my career and some of the great, tremendous fails that have happened, and see if this is the biggest one, and talk about some of the stuff in the cigar industry too. Mike Deffenbro says, "What did you do, Tim?" I'm gonna tell you. And I'm just going to tell you this up front right now. Here's what you guys need to know about my colossal fail. I'm going to outline this for you guys. The Ambergler. Can we
Yes.
She knows exactly what it is.
I do.
The Cigars Daily Live studio audience. They all went to the bathroom.
They all left.
They all know what it is.
They left after the Flathead.
They
joke.
left after the Terrence knows what it is.
Mhm.
Billy does not. Billy's the only person in the room
Wow. Okay.
that I did not tell. So let's see. Corey B says, "Tell all, Tim." And Dirty Bird Bill says, "Tim bullies too hard." I bullied the audience until they left. That's pretty good. All right.
Damn.
Chris Krim. By the way, happy birthday, Chris Krim.
Yes, happy birthday, Mr. Creme de la Creme.
Yeah.
I don't know how old you are, so happy 35th. That's just the usual go-to I go for.
All right. Drop your cigar comments and questions down below. We're going to come back to them, and we're going to continue taking them throughout the episode. Tonight, we're talking about the topic of the show is fail.
Oh.
That's the topic. There you
There
go.
it is.
Fail. It's the worst mistake. Tim's worst mistake ever, plus more cigar industry mishaps. Let's go ahead and talk about some cigar industry mishaps. If you've watched this show for a while, you've seen some of the crazy things that have happened in this industry. The most recently and a huge mishap was the AJ Fernandez factory caught fire.
Yeah.
Earlier this year. This has become a huge production delay for many cigar makers for a good portion of the year, impacting lots of cigars, not the least of which is the Tabernacle from Foundation that many of you have mentioned. At the same time, that's not the only thing. It's weird. Factory fires and things of this sort have been somewhat commonplace in the cigar industry in just the 10 years that I've been doing this. And cigars have been around for about 600 years. But just in the last 10 years, before the AJ Fernandez fire, there was a factory fire in the Dominican Republic that burned down a factory of a very good friend of mine. Similarly, a couple of years ago, Alec Bradley had their curing barns burned down.
Yep.
Right just outside of their fields. They lost a tremendous amount of leaf in those fires. When I first got into the industry, there was it felt like 2 or 3 years where AJ or Arturo Fuente would have a factory fire basically every year. And then they skipped a year, and then another year, a shipping container of cigars was stolen.
Whoops.
That the scuttlebutt in the industry is that this shipping container was filled with Opus. But it was a shipping container. On a shipping container, they had about 250,000 cigars stored in the shipping container, and it just vanished. And then, turned up, which is super peculiar, but that is what happened. Companies like Casa Cueva Cigars had someone use a sledgehammer to smash open the wall of their warehouse and go in and steal all of their inventory. This industry is no stranger to mishaps and misfortune, and dare I say even mistakes. And that's where we're at tonight. If there was a fire that would be tremendously bad, or anything that impacted the Cigars Daily HQ like that would be the worst thing. Juan Gomez says, tobacco pirates?
Yar.
That'd be a hell of a weird thing to pirate. I mean, if
You
I was
wouldn't
a
pirate a
pirate,
car.
yeah, I'd be going under ships that have
Cigar.
other stuff on them other than tobacco.
Ooh, nice one, Billy.
So here's what happened. And I want to tell you guys this first tonight, because this is going to lead into it. Around the studio, everybody has the same blend. It is the El Rey del Mundo Sultan of the Sahara. Now, this is a project I've been going on and on about over the last few months, because it was intended to be around the time of Cigartopia. That's at November 22nd, by the way. And this has been a long process for me. Since late last year, we started planning Sultan of the Sahara. And I'm going to give you an outline of what exactly this project has been about. Terrence, El Rey del Terrence, his nickname is because of El Rey del Mundo. He is a huge fan of El Rey. He's loved that cigar for a long time, long before he was at the Cigars Daily HQ. And I said to my good friends at El Rey, I said, it would be great if we could make a project to honor Terrence and his love for El Rey and give him a solid nod. Now, that being said, when we initially did this, Terrence and I were trying to come up with a name for this very special El Rey project. And that name that Terrence and I came up with, we wanted to call it the El Rey del Mundo Black. Terrence and I obviously thought this was a great idea. Like, do the two of us sitting in my office over a cigar talking about a Terrence-centric El Rey del Mundo, calling it Cigars Unbanded, says, I see no issues with this name.
Exactly.
Hey, it's great to have Cigars Unbanded here, by the way. Those guys have a spectacular podcast. Love all of them. Thank you guys for peeking in on the episode. So Terrence and I floated the name idea El Rey Black to the maker of El Rey Del Mundo cigars, in which we got a fast, hard no, like real quick. Because at El Rey, they know who Terrence is. They know what we're trying to do here. They got it. And
Wait,
we
they
didn't
know who I am there?
Kevin Group says El Rey Noir, which is
Noir.
yeah. We kind of went down that road a little bit, and then we backed right off. I'm seeing the comments over here. Woof.
Are you talking about Nathaniel Giles?
Yeah, no, I'm not even talking. I'm talking about a different comment, dude. What did Nathaniel say? Don't put it on the screen for the love of God.
No, it's not bad. It's a quote from Tropic Thunder.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm just the dude playing the dude.
What do you mean, you people? Classic. So Terrence and I sit down and we're like, okay. I said to Terrence, we're name storming, brainstorming. We're coming up with this new El Rey, and we're like, what if I said it could be? I said we'd love to do something with a Cameroon wrapper. I'd love to do something sort of, the African centric, and he felt good about that as well. And eventually, through lots of talking and joking and laughing, we came up with the Sultan of the Sahara, which the folks over at El Rey were much more agreeable to. They were like, this is a good idea. And we've got the pyramids and we got some camels and we got something to work with now.
Mm-hmm.
So then we went to the hard task of starting to design the box exterior and the cigar bands. And I got an image that looked just like this. This is sort of, I should say, this is exactly what I got from El Rey to start designing the packaging. As you can see here, a cigar with what was previously going to be a foot band, and I had to move that up to a secondary band. And then the box has got the camel and the pyramids, all this good stuff, all the way down to the very attractive, very good looking Sultan of the Sahara sort of cigar ring, the band on it. And this happened in April, if I didn't mention that. This is all the way back in April. How many months ago is that? 6, 7 months ago? 6 months ago, maybe. 5 months ago?
Yeah.
So we start all of this packaging design, and I get this email with what basically looks like this. And at this point, the packaging has gone through several layers of people at El Rey. There's the graphic artist, there's the marketing guy, there's the other guy, there's the guy that gave it to me, and then I get to look at it, and I have one job. My job is to look at the packaging. Can you show me the packaging thing again? My job is to look at the box, the sides, the front, the top lid of the box, the band on the cigar. It's to look at everything and then come back with, yes, I approve of this, or no, I need some edits. Here's what I want you to change. I looked at this right here and I said, wow, what a striking thing. Yes, approved. And they shipped it. Now, I didn't know it at the time, but this is the single largest mistake that I've made in the cigar industry that I can remember. And I didn't learn about this until later this week. We continued with the design process for El Rey Del Mundo. The cigars went into production. And then they told me something I never expected to hear. And that's that the cigars were going to be here this month in September rather than in November. If you guys watch this show for any length of time, you know that early delivery of cigars is basically unheard of in this industry. It doesn't happen. If anything, they're going to get them there by the skin of their teeth right after, a little bit late, typically a month or two after we've all designed and programmed for it to happen. But no, my El Rey Sultan of the Sahara was coming early. I couldn't have been more excited.
They did that for little old me. They got it in early.
For Terrence, they said, that beautiful dreadlock man, we're going to hook him up.
And fine apple, get him his.
The fine apple, get him in there. So then the cigars come. Now, when they got here, the first thing that I did was light one up. I needed to make sure that they were just like the cigars before. And Terrence, you didn't smoke one for like 2 days. I was shocked. I was beside myself, but I'm not going to hold it again.
I didn't know if I could or not. Like, it was new.
You
like,
saw how many there were, dude.
I definitely did see how many there were, but I was like, I'm gonna wait, let them see, let them say I can, and then I'll go for it. I'm also a guy who doesn't rip my wrapping paper when it comes to Christmas presents and stuff like that.
One of those.
Like, I peel off the tape or I get a knife, cut it. Like, everybody just gives me bags. So like, I was waiting for the okay so I could get into one myself. Now I've had like 10.
He's also Mr. Humble. I kept being like, "Oh, your cigar share, isn't that cool?"
Yeah,
it's cool. I'm
like, he was coy about it.
He's so coy about it. Like, I'm like, I would be hyped. Like, I'm hyped for you, and it's not even my cigar. I'm like, I was telling everybody, I'm like, you gotta like Terrence's Cigars here. I was telling the girls, like,
Yep,
you gotta ask
yep.
them about it. And he's like, yeah, you know, it's cool. Mr.
So
Humble.
Mike Teffenbro says I'm getting sucked into this drama. So I'm gonna bring you guys to the climax of the story here. We get the cigar, it's in people's hands, and I'm in the lounge. And now the key question about any cigar is singular. What do people think of it?
Mm-hmm.
If a cigar is released out there into the wild, do people appreciate the complexity of the experience, or is it a turnoff? And if it's a mix of those things, and it almost always is, there's almost always some people who are like, this really isn't my palate,
Mhm.
and other people who are like, oh, wow, what a banger for me. But you're looking for what is the ratio of those two things. There are an overwhelming preponderance of people loving the cigar and only a few not liking it. But sure enough, day one, the cigar goes into the hands of a member who's in the studio audience tonight. And he looks at it and he takes a look right here at this. He looks at this band and says, that's not how you spell Sultan. And my stomach dumped out of the bottom of my feet. It fell so hard, so fast.
Yo.
I didn't even look at the band. I said, what? Because all of my excitement went away in an instant. And if you're looking at the screen, I'll explain this for our podcast listeners. And I already saw someone in the comments who got it. If you look at the secondary band here, it says Sultan of the Sahara. There just happens to be an extra T or an F in the name. We're really not sure. We don't know even now at this point. It's either Sultan or Sultan, but what it certainly isn't is a correctly spelled word on the packaging of a cigar, for which no small amount of investment has gone into producing. And this is, by the way, on the cigar. It's on the box. It is now the collector's item of Tim's stupidity, if ever there was one. And so I'm going to follow through on this story, and then I want to jump right back into the comments, Billy, and you can feel free to throw comments up just as I am talking right here. Literally this week, it was, what was it, Saturday? Was it Saturday we had this conversation? Friday. It was Friday. So Saturday, the cigar industry's closed. Sunday, it's closed. Monday, this morning, I sent an email to my friend at El Rey Del Mundo who helped me with this project. And I said, just so you know, like, and this is how I had to approach it, because this is the dirty truth. I approved the artwork. I had every opportunity to sit down with a magnifying glass or someone who could read English. Cigars and Cars says, no rag rats. Thank you. I could have sat down in any number of 10 ways, gone through this and gotten it right. And I failed. I sent an email back with that artwork and said, this is approved, go to print. And they did. Now, that being said, there were several layers before me, including the guy who designed it, that probably should have been right. Like, they should have given it a second look before they sent it over to me. And everybody that I talked to over at El Rey was so gracious this morning. I talked to the guy who helped me with the project. His name is Ed. And Ed was like, Tim, you know, I appreciate you owning that you approved it, but we should have had this right. Definitely took responsibility. And within an hour, I get a call from my buddy Ryan, who does like brand design and like packaging design for a massive swath of the cigar industry. In my opinion, I'm not aware of many people who are as good, certainly don't know anyone who's better at making cigar rings and doing design work than Ryan. And he called me within an hour and he's like, dude, I got to eat crow with you. And I laughed. I said, did you design that Sultan thing? And he's like, yes, I did. And we had a great conversation about it, a big laugh. And even right now, he's working to fix it for the next run of these. But I got to tell you guys, to give you an idea of what a colossal screw up this is for me, like, this isn't like I misspelled the title of a video or put up a thumbnail with a misspelling in it, which I have done many, many times. This is like a monument to ineptitude is what I'm calling it for myself. You know, this was like absolutely big fail. There you have it.
At least it didn't say like Slutton of this era.
That would have been.
It might have been better.
Very on brand for me. I ain't good.
I think it might have been a more popular cigar.
So what you're saying
I'm
is
not gonna
this
lie.
is like Pokemon cards, where like if it gets a misprint, super like
Yeah.
collectible.
Yeah.
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 It's the collectible thing.
Yeah.
That's That's what I'm going
You're
to try
going
to
to
convince
slab
people. I'm
these.
sure.
They'll be trading them in the future. It's like the
Ah.
Beanie Babies.
This
of the
is
cigar
this
world.
is a
Okay,
first
okay.
edition Charizard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Whatever.
the flavor profile on the slut tan of the season?
You don't want to know.
You know what? Let's take a comment. That's not a bad question. I just don't want to answer it. All right. There you go. We're gonna fix it. I'll tell you this though. I'll tell you this. As the show slips off a cliff here very quickly, this is the one thing about the Sultan of the Sahara that I do appreciate. The blend, we had our selection of blends, and one of them, the idea was to go with a double Cameroon cigar.
Mhm.
And we didn't pick that blend because we found a blend that was not only better than the double Cameroon, but that was to us much better than the El Rey del Mundo appointment.
Mhm.
Like to us, it carried a level of smoothness and complexity that really beat out, I think, probably anything else El Rey makes, with the limited example of the El Rey Oscuro, which is kind of an apples and oranges comparison.
Mhm.
Does that make sense, Terrence?
Yeah, most definitely.
Do you want to make a comment? Do you want to talk about your cigar a little bit, bro? I mean, I want to give you the mic for a second because we really did want to honor you. I really didn't do a good job. I feel like I did a bad job of that, but like, appreciate all the love that you give to El Rey, and I know all the folks over at El Rey do. So El Rey, give it up on El Rey.
All right. Well, all right. I flashed the trophy. Can I do the voice now?
Go ahead.
Team, thank you so much for bringing the El Rey to life. The Sultan of the Sahara is amazing. It is not going to be as full or dark as you would expect with the Oscuro, but graham cracker, you are going to get baking spice, earthiness, sweetness like a stone fruit, as well as it is a crescendo cigar. So as you start, it starts off fairly mild, and as you go along, it gets very, very, very much more richer. And so I definitely love this cigar. I have 2 boxes at home, and I plan to have more boxes at home. very
Jeffem
soon.
says Wakanda forever.
Man, Wakanda ain't even a real place. It ain't even a real
Wakanda
place.
forever. Really great of him to drop a Kamala Harris quote in this video. Okay.
King nerd. I'm okay with that. I'm
AZ
okay with
born
that.
Texas living. Thank you. He is the king
Oh.
nerd. But honestly, Terrence, from your heart of hearts, did the blend deliver? Did it do what you wanted it to do?
From
The extra
Arios
Is for throat goat.
956. The extra T is for throat goat. No, it's for Terrence and then Tim, or
Yeah.
Tim then Terrence. Whichever one's bigger, that's his. But yes, no.
Eh? Somebody knows it's bonus time.
Who you boning? No, I'm sorry. Anyway, no, it's
Yeah,
been it's so funny. You guys were like, all right, yeah, it's the cigar, like it's for you. And it didn't really hit me until I finally brought them home. And I was hanging out with my dad. And I was like, hey, yeah, this is a cigar Tim made with my favorite brand, and it's like homage to me. And he takes out his phone and starts recording videos and pictures. And he's like, my son has his own cigar. And then right there, I was just like, huh. That like made my heart swell. I was like, damn, Tim really did that for me. And it's an unreal feeling for sure. So it's hard to put into words. It's hard for me to express, but it is I can't even really express it, but it's a fantastic thing. And thank you, Tim. Thank you very much.
All right, you're very welcome. We can talk about this more in the after party because there's a little bit more of this story to tell. But just so you guys know, I set out to honor Terrence and to create a project. This is one of my favorite parts of the cigar industry, is working to create something brand new. And that's what I set out to do with this. It just happens to be like, when God makes a really beautiful woman, but she's got a gigantic mole, like right here or right here.
Mole. I want to chop it up and turn it to
Just like-
guacamole.
Yeah, it's beautiful, but it is what it is. All right, there it is. Screwed it up. An amazing cigar with a unfortunate start in life. Poor thing. Drop your cigar comments and questions down below. We got a lot more to cover. We got headlines, we got pick of the week, and everything like that. But Beardy, what's happening, bro?
The comments got a little unhinged. there
Yeah, I
for a
noticed.
little
Yeah.
bit.
Weird.
Why would they go unhinged, Billy? I don't understand.
When we're asking about the slut 10 of
Oh,
the
Oh.
Sahara.
Sorry, everybody.
Amber.
If
It's
you
an
guys
easy
need to
joke.
know,
I should have known. I should have known.
if you guys
This
do want to
is like-
know, cocoa butter. No, I'm joking. All right.
Oh no,
Cocoa butter.
Jared.
Oh. Oh.
Oh god.
What does baby oil taste like? All right.
Not good.
No, we're feeding it now. Just for Amber, by the way, this is your 4th episode?
Something like that.
She's
Fourth,
she's
fifth,
still
yeah.
she's still in training, so
Yeah.
we'll do a little bit of training right here.
Yeah.
This show is like, speaking to a class of 4th graders.
Yeah, I'm realizing that.
When the speakers are all also 4th graders.
Yeah.
And so what you have to do is not get the principal called on what you say. Although Slutting of the Sahara is pretty funny. So I can't.
It's hard
hold it
because I'm
against
also
you.
a 4th grader, and it's just such an
Right,
easy joke,
right. Yep.
I shouldn't be in charge of anything as far as regulation, what this group says, because I clearly am not qualified.
Aren't you
Stop
HR?
bringing in a woman.
Aren't you HR?
Not on the live. If that's going to be my
Only
role.
until 6, she's a
Yeah, the shift ended 39 minutes ago. So
Mike Deffenbach wants to know.
Yeah.
I have to edit this. What's the Five Guys burgers for a El Rey? Slutting of the Sahara.
Less than 1?
Yeah.
Less than 1?
Mm-hmm.
Sub 10? So there you go.
There we
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
All right.
All right. We actually I found some comments.
I love
Okay.
it. I'm a huge fan of that. This one's from Brian Bennett. Says, I have a cigar question. How low or how high is okay for cigars, and temperature wise? Is 56 degrees still okay for cigars? We're talking specifically about temperature here.
Mhm.
There's one important thing to know when it comes to the temperature at which you store your cigars. And a lot of you are going to struggle with this because if you have an acrylic humidor like this acrylic jar right here, or if you have a wooden desktop humidor, you have no control. And so you're just going to go with the flow. Your humidor is going to be whatever the temperature in your house is, and that may very well be the root of this question right here. All you need to know is very simple. RH stands for relative humidity. The humidity is relative to the temperature.
Mhm.
The higher the temperature is, the easier the easier time the air has holding onto the molecules of humidity. The lower the temperature is, the harder time that you're going to have humidifying that humidor, to be quick. And so the more that temperature drops, the more you should be struggling to keep your humidity up. And so it may very well be that if your humidor sits at 56 degrees Fahrenheit, presumably, if it's Celsius, then you got a different problem.
Good Lord.
But
Good
if you're looking
Lord.
at 56 degrees Fahrenheit, you may find that a 69% Boveda doesn't quite do the job, right?
Mhm.
And so you want to, I say this with humidors a lot, and I just made a video kind of going after Maz from Holtz over there, and he made a great video on the dollar bill trick. And I basically said all humidors require this sort of dialing in process
Mhm.
that just requires you to mess with your temperature and your humidity to get it exactly how you want it. But lower temperatures will introduce a different variable. There you have it.
There we go. Yeah.
Billy, great comment pulling. Good work.
Last week I was really on my comment polling, so I wanted to
Shouts out
Uh-huh.
Afghani stuff. Yeah, for sure.
This next comment kind of reminds me of a segment we used to do that we need to bring back.
Wise Galoot says, hey, can you talk for 2 consecutive minutes with a cigar in your mouth?
Reminds me
Oh.
of Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Cigar. I tried to do this with John Simon from Warfighter Cigar
Mhm.
back when you were allowed to do that sort of thing on these platforms. And I'll say this, doing anything with a cigar in your mouth is a hassle.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Amber knows this.
Yeah, I know
You
it very
tried it.
well.
You got super ballsy and tried this
Yeah, I just
a
went
couple of
for it.
weeks ago.
I
And
had a Sawzall. I was trying to cut some boards down to try to fit them in the dumpster with the cigar in my mouth. I was choking and coughing, and it was a terrible
Crying.
decision. Yeah, I was immediately crying. It was like somebody pepper sprayed me or something.
I
Mhm.
think
Don't
because we see it in
recommend.
the movies and it looks so cool. Like
Yeah.
have a sawzall cutting up boards and
Yeah.
shit
Yeah.
with a cigar in your mouth. It's awful.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah,
not
it's
fun.
terrible.
You ugly cry. It's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah, do you know the amount of times I've walked around with the Churchill in my mouth and missed the door handle, so it just and then ash on the floor, and then my cigar's bent for the rest of the. Oh, gosh, it's not easy.
It's the number one way to predict that someone's going to uncontrollably drool is if they have a cigar in their mouth and they go to do anything with both hands.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 20 seconds.
Tops.
And there's going to be bleh.
Yep.
All right, keep the comments
You'll hear
coming
the
to us.
sizzle as the drool goes down the cigar.
Exactly right.
I had to clean that sauce off.
Ben Boyd says Clint shot 20 movies that way. Clint Eastwood shot a lot of movies with a little cheroot. And I'll say this, the cheroots kind of fit in the side of your mouth.
Yeah.
It's a lot different than something that's almost an inch in diameter, you know? And listen, I'm just going to stop right now. We're going to take another comment and go a different direction because I can already tell what the hell is about to go on. If we talk about what girth begins to bring about drooling, Billy, what's the next comment?
Not saying anything.
And by the way, I want to take one comment and then ignore comments for the rest of the night. I don't want to see another one pop up. Leroy says, "Are there any Viking swag statues left?" Yeah, there's tons of them.
Yep.
And we've got projects coming up. The Viking Forge Keeper statue was designed to be something that can accompany American Viking cigars, of which we are less than a month away from the American Viking Unkillable arriving in Arizona. And furthermore, the Daily Edition cigars as well. One side of it is a Cigars Daily side. The other side of it is the American Viking side. So you're going to see some more of that coming up. Dan Elting says, Viking slang.
Yes.
Smooth Kenny says, I literally said, yikes, when you said 1 inch. Yeah. So yeah, I guess Smooth Kenny's like, uh-oh.
The fourth graders are going to attack.
Which, by the way, for anybody who's at home with a tape measure right now, is a 64 ring gauge. So just putting it out there, 1 inch in diameter.
Don't look at
I'm
me.
not looking at.
I'm trying not to rile up the fourth graders again. I'm over here just desperately trying to keep us in the clean content.
Ira
this is
Littman,
why Lanceros are great. Yes, great transition, guys.
Ira Littman says unkiltable, which is probably what it'll say on the packaging when it gets here. That's pretty funny. I'll tell you what. I legitimately, after boning it up on the design for this cigar,
here we go.
I don't think I could survive another one. And it makes me uncontrollably nervous considering that I've got 5 or 6 more projects in the barrel right now. Like I need to go back over and so much of it has already gone to print. Like a lot of cigars are rolled, packaging is put on them. Like I've got a lot of projects coming out between now and the end of the year. And so this is just like, double check your work and there's nothing you can do about it. So there you go. Dirty Bird Bill says, boning it up. Thank you, Dirty Bird Bill. I appreciate you. All right. Do we have any more cigar questions?
We do.
Get me one. Basil Rosa says, cigar question. When aging a full-bodied cigar, does the strength intensify or decrease with age? This is a great question.
I love this.
So you're aging cigars at home. You got some bold stuff. You want to put a little age on it to get that refined nature out of it, that extra smoothness. Is a cigar going to get stronger over time? Categorically, or is it going to get weaker? If it's going to go one way or the other, the cigar's strength will lighten up over time. It will slide toward the lighter range. That doesn't mean, though, that aging a cigar for a long time will take a strong cigar and make it mild.
Yep.
If a cigar is
done properly.
Yes. Thank you, Terrence. If done properly, a cigar that's an 8 out of 10 on strength might dial back to a 7, maybe a 6. But along with that dialing back in strength that comes with aging, you're also going to find that like what you're after when you go to aging, which is that smoothness of flavor, a better balance in the profile, a crisper, cleaner, like clearer flavor notes, easier to pick out things in that flavor. Like as the strength drops down a little bit, what sort of happens is it peels back the lid on sort of the rest of that flavor profile to make it easier to get out of. I literally the other day had a Filthy Viking that I found in a humidor at home that was like 3 years old. So I went in my backyard, I sparked it up, and I was shocked because it was still mild to medium, and the Filthy Viking is mild to medium, so it still had about the same strength, but that flavor profile it was the difference between walking by a river and standing in front of a lake that's like glass and you can just see the bottom of the water. It was just very clean flavor. It was a time for me to really savor my own cigar.
There you go.
Can I ask a noob cigar question to follow up this? Yeah. So how long, when we talk about aging, do you need to age a cigar to really tell a difference? Is it 6 months? Is it a year? Is it
it's a range.
Just the more, the clearer it'll get?
Yeah, and I have a pretty specific perspective on this that I've developed over time. So, and here's how it goes. I used to say aging could happen for anywhere from about 4 months is when you can kind of start to tell.
Okay.
To a few years, 2, 3, maybe 4 years, I would have said is sort of the long range for aging. And the argument for that is that cigar makers will age the leaf for years before it goes into a cigar.
Yeah.
The bare balls minimum is 2 years. 3 years is about the standard. 5 years is considered good, and some guys typically do 5 years. Like Perdomo does 5 years minimum with their wrapper leaves, and there's other companies that do this. But if you go beyond that period of time, you find that the aging really smooths out. So I would have said after you roll it, they design it to be ready to go. So it's 4 months to 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
But then a buddy of mine, the inventor of the Choco Taco, who's going to be coming to visit me, I believe, before the end of the year.
I believe November.
In November. He sent me a couple of Cuban Davidoff Lanceros.
Ooh, yeah.
From the 1980s or the 1990s.
Wow.
We don't know exactly when they're from, but they are decades old. And I would have maintained that you couldn't age a cigar past a few years and still get an quality experience out of it. It would die off so much that it would be like completely dead. And I sparked one of these up, and it was amazing. I mean, it still had some pepper and spice to it, very minimal, but it was very well maintained, very well aged.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. There you go. There it is. Keep it cruising. I got time for one more comment, then we got to hit the pick of the week. William Pinsy says, have you ever heard a cigar where on one side of the cigar just wouldn't stay lit?
Yeah, the cap.
I appreciate that. Yeah, the cap. Yes, that happens sometimes. That happens sometimes with a handmade thing like a cigar. It's handmade, so everyone's a little different, and they're made of leaves, and all the leaves are a little bit different. Sometimes you get an issue where the filler leaves that run concurrent through the cigar are not pressed evenly against the binder. So the binder burns fast and burns down one side called a canoe. If you've got it where another side just flat out won't burn, that's almost that can be a humidity issue. It can also be an issue with the way that it's been rolled. But it's going to typically be one of those two things. Good question. All right, ready? You got any more? Hi there, says, hey, can you all talk about this year's Bricktoberfest? Come on, Billy, show this one.
I showed it.
Did you? Oh, show the comment.
Yeah, show the comment.
Show the comment. Bricktoberfest. So yeah, Terrence is not a big fan of that one. Yeah, this year, I mean, the project is a brick house from JC Newman. They do it around October, called the Bricktoberfest. This year they did it in a Churchill. I did not try one. Terrence, did you try one?
Yes, I did.
What was the experience like? What did you?
I've got unfortunately, a brutal tunnel.
Ooh.
Like 4 inches worth of the cigar. Like I tried lighting, cutting. I got to like the final third and I was like, I can't get anything. So unfortunately, the one that I did try, I did not get any great flavor notes out of them. It was just hot the entire time.
Okay. Brilliant. Now, I want to do a segment we do every week on this show called the Cigars Daily Nation Pick of the Week. These ones are coming from the Cigars Daily Nation Facebook group, and I got to just cue this up. Terrence, these should be in order.
Okay.
The first one, I was just like taken back by the attitude here. This is, to me, is what cigars are all about. Take a look. This is a picture from Jeff M. He's got himself a Cactus Wren short run. He says, so back in the beginning of August, I got one of these. It was a lemon, as happens from time to time with our mutual beloved product. Tim H. Swanson got wind and rushed me a replacement. I proceeded to chuck it in the humidor and forgot it existed until I was rooting around looking for a smoke today. I have to say, it's got Great construction and great flavor. Looking forward to way more. This is like the heart of what cigars to me are about. And also for the comment that was like, what do you do if a cigar doesn't burn on one side? What I would personally do is I would go get a different one of the same cigar to see what that cigar is actually like. Nobody, to my knowledge, has created a blend where the goal is for it to burn like garbage. So it's most likely that you get a dud when that happens. And if you find one that's good, you typically get a better representation of what the project is about. Also, in the Cigars Daily Nation Facebook group, I started a contest this week where people in the group have the opportunity to earn some swag in exchange for posting and sharing not just their passion for cigars, but their cigars married with their favorite things. It's, for me, it calls to mind The Sound of Music, that these are a few of my favorite things songs. And I will spare you me singing that song, but I did challenge people in the Facebook group to post their cigar along with some of their other beloved hobbies and hashtag favorite things in their post. So they can share cigars, other stuff that they love, and maybe even meet others in the group who are into the same things. Take a look at a picture right here. This one's from Rodney T. And I picked this picture for basically one reason. He says, love hanging out with the dogs and a good cigar on the deck. Nothing like a hair of the dog with my dogs. Look at that cellophane. Now, I did not pull the picture of the cellophane. I pulled the picture of these dogs because the dog in the front looks very much like AI screwed up really bad, making a picture of a dog.
Yeah.
And the dog in the back looks like he just swallowed an entire grasshopper accidentally. He's just got this like look on his face.
One ear flip back.
These are a few of my favorite things. And those are beautiful dogs, notwithstanding the fact that they're both stuck in the Twilight Zone as you take this picture.
But all 8 of their paws would be allowed on the furniture.
Their paws are absolutely allowed on the furniture. Next up, this picture comes from the Facebook group. Nice. Jeff M had 2 pictures. In one picture, he had his cigar with some of his favorite watches. I did not use that picture because the other picture is filled with luchador masks. He said, these are a few of my favorite things. Luchador masks and watches are my other hobbies aside from cigars. And I got to say, Jeff, you've got the weirdest damn collection of hobbies that I can imagine. There are gross things that people do that would be less shocking to me than luchador masks and watches and cigars.
You know, if you would have said, like, guess this next, it's like out of there. Luchador mask would take years
we could
to come up on that.
20 questions, and none of us would have ever gotten to luchador.
I don't know.
New
like,
game.
It goes together. It's a luxury.
Does
thing,
it
right?
though? Do you think you would have picked
Hold on, give me the camera. Give me the camera. Is it really?
Yes.
That's
Okay. So there is a very, very deep Mexican history with luchadors wearing really nice suits, having nice watches, and giving back to the communities that they gave from. I would say cigars, watches, luchador masks, they all go together. Like, it is a very rich history, and a lot of luchadors are able to get an advantage in life and be able to spread that with the people around them. But it is like, I think that's sick.
Terrence,
I want a luchador mask now, but
Terrence, be honest. How many luchador masks do you have?
0.
You have none?
I have
Why
none.
the hell do you know so much about this?
Because they're dominatrix masks that he puts on.
You said specifically luchador mask, not what kind of mask that I've got. All right. Safe word is pineapple. Anyway, but yes, I think that's the super sick combination. I kind of want a luchador mask, even though I've got enough masks floating around my house. But outside of that,
masks. How many masks do you have? Like,
Hi there says he's lying.
3.
Hi there says he's lying, and then Matt Coyne says, "Oh, he
MF Doom
his
mask.
GF
I have
has
one on my
several.
wall,
Okay.
and then I've got both a Toma Bugalter and a Guy Manuel mask from Daft Punk. That's the only mask that I have in my house.
All right, this is more logical.
All musical references. There's those. Music is another. Anyway, yes, I think that's super sick. Anyway, should we go to the next picture, Tim?
Yeah, we should.
Should we wait? Do we need to have a 20 questions guessing game on this next one?
I don't even remember what that picture
I don't even know
is.
what the next one is. I don't remember what it is. So we're just going to put it up and I'm going to make fun of it. Oh, this one's from Andy
That's
P.
all reasonable.
He
things.
says cigars, watches, and photography. He's got himself there the Hold Fast from Jeremy Sayers. Jeremy Sayers Hold Fast torch and some sort of watch.
Somebody's a
What brand
fanboy.
is that? That's a that's
calm
a
down. That's me.
All right, there you go.
We
And
also
by the
have
way,
one more.
there's an honorable mention for this, and I put this out in this show because this show has really been about my not insubstantial, massive, colossal failure of all time. In that, with the El Rey del Mundo, Sultan of the Sahara, I approved artwork that had a misspelling on it, and now have replicated that many, many thousands of times like a dumb moron. And I would have been much better to go with this as the cigar ring. This one's from Edgar S. Edgar used AI to create a picture of Terrence,
Did
sorta,
he, or is that just Terrence's Facebook that he dressed up one day?
wearing a turban. And on the left, it says El Rey del Mundo. On the right, it says Sultan of the Sahara. On the bottom, it says Sultan of Sahara. All of it spelled correctly. Now, let me just put this out there. A year ago, AI couldn't even put the correct number of fingers on hands.
And now we have a Terrence Sultan of the Sahara.
Now we have a real correctly spelled.
If you're
Sultan of
redoing the
Sahara.
bands, can we just put that up? Because that is.
I'm inclined to stick with our artwork, although I don't dislike this. Edgar does say, I'm not saying Tim H. Swan dropped the ball, but I think that this was a massive missed opportunity. Edgar, you're wrong. I did drop the ball as much as the ball could be. The ball broke. I dropped it so hard. Okay, it's a half a ball now.
Are you
Okay.
going to put this next to your $1 million cigar?
My $100,000 cigar?
100,000. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
feel
think
like-
so. My humidor at home, I'll tell you guys this. My humidor at home has got a whole space inside of it for cigars that are they're more memorabilia for me than anything. They're cigars that remind me of incredible events that have happened in the cigar industry. One of them is my $100,000 cigar. And the Sultan of the Sahara will go next to it. On the same shelf, I've got some old school Foundation Matapas. And I've got some El Huehuenses from Foundation. What else have I got in there? I've just got some really special old school cigar stuff. Dan Elting says meat tipped cigar. That one's not allowed anywhere near the humidor.
Mine
Those
is in
things
a bag, in another bag, in my
Uh-huh.
aging humidor, and it's growing mold on the inside. It is so great.
Yuck.
Okay.
It's a meat tip cigar. What'd you think? I didn't refrigerate it.
We
know,
can
it's so
absolutely we can keep talking about this, but the only way we can do that is on the after party for this show. We are going to head over to that now. I want to invite you to join us. We're going to talk a little bit more about the big upcoming hangout, food, family, amazingness of Cigartopia coming up November 22nd. Don't miss your chance to visit the Cigars Daily Live crew along with Justin Andrews, Steve Saka, and Terrence Riley. All will be here. Some amazing new projects in full force. In addition to that, we're going to talk more about the Sultan of the Sahara, the Sultan of the Sahara, or Slutton of the Sahara. I don't care how you say it at this point. As long as you think of Terrence when you're smoking it, it's fine with me. Join us there. We're going to be taking this show over to Rumble and our own community on Cigars Daily Plus, which, by the way, that's our own platform. It's free and easy to sign up. It requires basically your name, username, and email, and a password, and that's it. You're in. So join us for more of this episode. You can find Cigars Daily Live 397. Join the show. Keep your comments coming and keep the good times rolling. Otherwise, stay tuned for another epic episode next Monday night.
And live your lives.